잠시 후 1시 20분부터 2024학년도 대학 수학능력시험 6월 모의평가 3교시 영어 영역 듣기평가 방송을 시작하겠습니다. 수험생 여러분은 편안한 마음으로 방송에 귀를 기울여 주시고 감독 선생님께서는 스피커의 음량을 알맞게 조절해 주십시오. 수험생 여러분은 답안을 작성하기 전에 반드시 답안지 왼쪽 해당란에 성명, 수험번호 등을 정확하게 기입하고 표기하였는지 확인하시기 바랍니다. 답란에 정답을 표기하기 전에 답안지에 있는 수험생 준수사항을 꼭 확인하십시오. 듣기평가 문제는 1번부터 17번까지입니다. 방송을 잘 듣고 문제지에 있는 5개의 답지 중에서 맞는 답 하나만 골라 답안지에 해당 란에 바르게 표기하십시오. 듣기평가는 타종 없이 시작됩니다. 이제 문제지 표지를 넘기시기 바랍니다. 그러면 지금부터 3교시 영어 영역 듣기평가를 시작하겠습니다. 1번부터 17번까지는 듣고 답하는 문제입니다. 1번부터 15번까지는 한 번만 들려주고 16번부터 17번까지는 2번 들려줍니다. 방송을 잘 듣고 답을 하시기 바랍니다. 1번. 다음을 듣고 남자가 하는 말의 목적으로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Visitors, may I have your attention, please? This is Anderson Thompson, manager of Benjyville Aquarium. While enjoying your time at our aquarium, we kindly request that you not hit the glass walls of the aquarium tanks. Even light knocking can be quite loud for the fish in the water. The vibrations from the knocking can make the fish stressed, and they might become sick. So, to keep our fish healthy, we ask you not to hit the glass walls of the aquarium tanks. Thank you for your cooperation.
(2번) 대화를 듣고 여자의 의견으로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Hey, Laura. Mom asked me what we're going to buy for our newborn baby cousin.
Oh, yeah. What should we get? Did Mom suggest anything?
She said a hat might be a good choice.
That sounds good. As far as I know, wearing a hat helps maintain baby's body temperature.
It's the beginning of summer, though. Do you think the baby will really need one?
Yes. Without a hat on, the baby might get cold when the air conditioning is on.
I didn't consider that. Now I understand why I've seen so many babies wearing hats indoors in the summer.
Right. Hats help to keep baby's body temperature steady.
Okay, let's find the cutest hat in the world for our baby cousin.
Absolutely.
(3번) 다음을 듣고 남자가 하는 말의 요지로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Hello, listeners. This is Claude's radio advice show. One of our listeners sent me a message. It says that she's having a hard time these days because she has a lot on her mind. I think many of you may be having a similar problem. If this is true for you, you need a hobby that can help clear your mind. For example, you can try going camping, gardening, or playing a musical instrument, And any kind of exercise, such as hiking, can also be good. How about clearing your mind with one of these hobbies? We'll be right back after the break with more tips. Stay tuned.
(4번) 대화를 듣고 그림에서 대화의 내용과 일치하지 않는 것을 고르시오.
Arthur, how did the rehearsal for your drama club go?
It went well. Oh, I have a picture of it on my smartphone. Do you want to see it?
Sure, let me have a look. You must be the knight in front of the window.
Yeah, that's me.
You look so cool in the costume.
Thanks. Do you see the two paintings on the wall? I painted them myself.
Wow, they look great. I also like the teapot on the table. Where did you get that?
I bought it at a flea market. I also got the flower-patterned rug at the market.
They all fit the setting well. Oh, there's a cat under the chair. I think it's so cute.
I agree. By the way, you're going to come and see my play, right?
Of course. I'm looking forward to seeing you perform.
(5번) 대화를 듣고 여자가 할 일로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Honey, our moving day is coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think we need to check our to-do list again.
Okay. We got the confirmation from the moving company for the date, right?
Yes, we did. Did you sign up for the internet at our new place?
Uh-huh, I did. It should be connected by the move-in date. And I already put stickers on the chairs we will throw away.
Great. Oh, I still have to wrap the crystal vases.
That's okay. You have time. Did you call our son's new school? Did they tell you what he needs to take with him on his first day?
Yes, he has to bring the uniform for his gym class. Oh, we forgot to make a reservation with the cleaning company.
No worries. I'll do it right now.
Thanks.
(6번) 대화를 듣고 남자가 지불할 금액을 고르시오.
Welcome to the fresh salad store. What would you like to have?
Hi, I'm not sure. What do you recommend?
The beef salad is pretty popular, and some people like the chicken salad too.
Okay. How much are they?
It's $20 for the beef salad and $15 for the chicken salad.
Then I'll take 1 beef salad and 2 chicken salads.
Good choice.
Is dressing included with the salads?
Yes, all salads come with lemon dressing for free. But if you want a different kind of dressing, you need to pay $5 extra for each.
I'll just take the lemon dressing. Can I use this 10% discount coupon?
Yes, you can. So, that's 1 beef salad and 2 chicken salads. Will that be all?
Yes. Here's my coupon and credit card.
(7번) 대화를 듣고 여자가 독서 모임에 참석하지 못한 이유를 고르시오.
Sandra, I didn't see you at the company book club meeting yesterday.
Yeah, I really wanted to go, but I couldn't make it.
You missed a really interesting discussion about our science fiction novel. That's your favorite genre.
It is. but I had to take care of something.
What was that? You couldn't find a babysitter for your son like last time?
No, my husband was with him.
Well, then was it because your department launched a new product online yesterday?
No, I wasn't involved with that.
Then, why couldn't you come to the meeting?
A conversation with a client took longer than I had planned.
Oh, I see. I was worried about you. I hope everything went well.
Yes, it did. Thanks for asking.
팔 번 대화를 듣고 Now and then 테크 쇼케이스에 관해 언급되지 않은 것을 고르시오.
Hannah, I saw a poster at the library that you might be interested in.
What's it about, Dad?
It says the Now and Then Tech Showcase is coming to our city soon. The purpose of the showcase is to introduce social robot technologies that local companies have developed.
Great. When does it start?
It'll open from Saturday, June 24th.
Good. I think I can go then. Do you remember where it's going to be held?
Yes, at Golden Maples Field Stadium.
That's awesome. I can walk there. Is there an admission fee?
I don't remember. Maybe you can check that online.
Yeah, just a second. Oh, the admission fee is $12 per person.
Sounds good. You should go.
Definitely. Thanks for telling me about it.
구 번 Found 211에 관한 다음 내용을 듣고 일치하지 않는 것을 고르시오.
Attention H-Rail train passengers. We would like to introduce a new website called Found 211 to help you find your lost items. Found 211 provides information about items you've lost on H-Rail trains. To use Found 211, you first have to be a member of the website. Then, you need to post the details of your lost items to the website. If your lost items are found, Found 211 will inform you by a text message. In addition, foreign language services are provided in various languages, including French, Spanish, and Chinese. You can also use Found 211 through our mobile application. We hope you have a pleasant trip to your destination. Thank you.
십 번 다음 표를 보면서 대화를 듣고 여자가 구매할 쿠키 커터 세트를 고르시오.
Ellie, what are you looking at on your tablet PC?
I'm looking for a set of new cookie cutters. Can you help me pick a new set out from among these 5?
Sure. There are many shapes to choose from. Do you have one in mind?
The star-shaped cutters look cool.
They do, but I've heard it's difficult to take the dough out of them.
Really? Then I don't want to get the star-shaped ones.
That makes sense. How much do you want to spend?
I'd like to spend less than $20.
I see. Which material do you prefer?
I've been using metal cutters, but I want to use a different kind this time.
Okay, then you have 2 options left.
Yellow is my favorite color, so I'll buy the yellow set.
십일 번 대화를 듣고 여자의 마지막 말에 대한 남자의 응답으로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Grandpa, I took some pictures at your birthday party last week, and your best friend Mr. Williams was in a few of them.
Oh, really? That's great. I'm meeting him today, and he might want those pictures.
Well, I can print out the pictures now. Would you like to take them to him?
(12번) 대화를 듣고 남자의 마지막 말에 대한 여자의 응답으로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Hello, Miss Davis. This is Kevin's father. His class is visiting the Pop Art Culture Festival tomorrow, right?
Yes, we're going to go as scheduled. Is there anything wrong?
Actually, Kevin has a fever, so I don't think he can go tomorrow.
(13번) 대화를 듣고 여자의 마지막 말에 대한 남자의 응답으로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Liam, have you decided what you want to study at college?
Not yet, Mom. Yesterday, some former graduates came to our school and gave us some tips on choosing a major.
Great. What did they say?
They told us that we should first think about what we are most interested in.
That's good advice. Are there any particular subjects that you like?
I like children very much, so I'd like to study something related to children.
How about studying early childhood education?
That sounds interesting, but I'm also interested in psychology.
Then you might want to major in psychology and become a counselor for children.
I've never thought of that, but I'm not sure about which colleges have a psychology major.
Me neither, but your teacher, Mr. Scott, might be able to help you find out more about that.
(14번) 대화를 듣고 남자의 마지막 말에 대한 여자의 응답으로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Hello, Claire.
Hi, Uncle Louis. How are you doing?
I'm good. Are you busy this weekend?
Not really. I'll be home doing my assignment. Do you need anything?
Yeah, I was wondering if you could take care of my dog for the weekend.
Sure. He's such a good dog. Are you going somewhere?
Yes, I have an unexpected business trip.
I see. Are you going to drop him off at my house tomorrow?
Sorry, I can't. I have a few things to do before the trip. Could you come and get him this evening?
Yes, I can. Is there anything I need to know to take care of him?
Actually, he's on a diet. Do you think you can take him for a walk once a day?
(15번) 다음 상황 설명을 듣고 케이트가 프로페서 리에게 할 말로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Kate is taking Professor Lee's East Asian History class. She is given an assignment to make an individual presentation on Monday of the following week. However, she finds out that she won the first prize in a national essay writing contest, and she is asked to attend the award ceremony. She's happy to hear the good news and really wants to go to the ceremony to receive her award. but she's not sure about whether she can go because the award ceremony and the presentation are both scheduled for the same time. So, she wants to ask Professor Lee if it is possible for her to change the date of the presentation with another student in the class. In this situation, what would Kate most likely say to Professor Lee?
(16번부터 17번까지는 2번 들려줍니다. 16번과 17번 다음을 듣고 물음에 답하시오.
Hello, students. Have you ever thought about what's happening in the insect world when it's raining? Today, we're going to talk about what insects do on a rainy day. Some insects come outside from their home. For example, cockroaches living in drains have to escape from there to survive when it rains. It's because their homes get flooded easily. They leave so they will not drown. To give another example, mosquitoes come out in the rain to lay eggs. Rainy days are the best time since newborn mosquitoes need water to grow. However, other insects have to hide to stay alive. For instance, some types of ants hide themselves to get away from the rain because their body temperature drops when it rains. If they get cold during a rainy day, their bodies can freeze and they could die. Also, some kinds of flies go underground to avoid the rain. When their wings get wet, they can't fly, so they have to find some place to stay dry. As we can see, the rain affects various insects' behavior in different ways. Now, let's watch a video.
다시 한번 듣겠습니다.
Hello, students. Have you ever thought about what's happening in the insect world when it's raining? Today, we're going to talk about what insects do on a rainy day. Some insects come outside from their home. For example, cockroaches living in drains have to escape from there to survive when it rains. It's because their homes get flooded easily. They leave so they will not drown. To give another example, mosquitoes come out in the rain to lay eggs. Rainy days are the best time since newborn mosquitoes need water to grow. However, other insects have to hide to stay alive. For instance, some types of ants hide themselves to get away from the rain because their body temperature drops when it rains. If they get cold during a rainy day, their bodies can freeze and they could die. Also, some kinds of flies go underground to avoid the rain. When their wings get wet, they can't fly, so they have to find some place to stay dry. As we can see, the rain affects various insects' behavior in different ways. Now, let's watch a video.
16번 여자가 하는 말의 주제로 가장 적절한 것은 (17번) 언급된 곤충이 아닌 것은 이제 듣기 문제가 끝났습니다. 18번부터는 문제지의 지시에 따라 답을 하시기 바랍니다.
27. Sierra Basketball Day Camp provides opportunities for teens to get healthy and have fun. Come and learn a variety of skills from the experts. Site and date Sierra Sports Center July 17th, July 21 stages and level, 13 to 18 years, for beginners only. Camp activity skill drills, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Team games, 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Free throw shooting contests, 4 to 00 p.m., 5 to 00 p.m. Registration and cost register online at www.crrbbcamp.com. $40. Full payment is required when registering. A towel will be provided for free. 28. Want to encourage your child's artistic talent? Color World Art Center is going to have art classes for kids from June 1st to August 31st. Class programs and schedule. clay arts, ages 4, 6, every Monday, cartoon drawing, ages 7, 9, every Thursday, watercolors, ages 10, 12, every Friday. Class time, 4 p.m., 6 p.m. Monthly fee, $30 per child, snacks included, family discounts are available, 10% discount for each child. Notes, only 10 kids are allowed per class, kids should wear clothes that they don't mind getting dirty. Sign up at Color World Art Center. Jean Renoir, 1894–1979, a French film director, was born in Paris, France. He was the son of the famous painter Pierre-Auguste Renoir. He and the rest of the Renoir family were the models of many of his father's paintings. At the outbreak of World War I, Jean Renoir was serving in the French army but was wounded in the leg. In 1937, he made La Grande Illusion, one of his better-known films. It was enormously successful but was not allowed to show in Germany. During World War II, when the Nazis invaded France in 1940, he went to Hollywood in the United States and continued his career there. He was awarded numerous honors and awards throughout his career, including the Academy Honorary Award in 1975 for his lifetime achievements in the film industry. Overall, Jean Renoir's influence as a filmmaker and artist endures. The above graph shows the share of the EU 28 population participating in tourism in 2017 by age group and destination category. The share of people in the no trips category was over 30% in each of the 5 age groups. The percentage of people in the outbound trips only category was higher in the 25-34 age group than in the 35-44 age group. In the 35-44 age group, the percentage of people in the domestic trips only category was 34.2%. The percentage of people in the domestic and outbound trips category was lower in the 45-54 age group than in the 55-64 age group. In the 65 or over age group, the percentage of people in the no trips category was more than 50%. Dear Custard Valley Park members, Custard Valley Park's grand reopening event will be held on June 1st. For this exciting occasion, we are offering free admission to all visitors on the reopening day. There will be a food stand selling ice cream and snacks. We would like to invite you, our valued members, to celebrate this event. Please come and explore the park's new features such as tennis courts and a flower garden. Just relax and enjoy the beautiful scenery. We are confident that you will love the new changes, and we are looking forward to seeing you soon. Sincerely, Catherine Carter Park Management Team. While the mechanic worked on her car, Jennifer walked back and forth in the waiting room. She was deeply concerned about how much it was going to cost to get her car fixed. Her car's engine had started making noises and kept losing power that morning, and she had heard that replacing an engine could be very expensive. After a few minutes, the mechanic came back into the waiting room. I've got some good news. It was just a dirty spark plug. I already wiped it clean and your car is as good as new. He handed her the bill and when she checked it, the overall cost of repairs came to less than $10. That was far less than she had expected and she felt at ease, knowing she could easily afford it. 1. Worried. Relieved. 2. Calm. Terrified. 3. Bored. Thrilled. 4. Excited. Scared. 5. Disappointed. Indifferent. 20. Certain hindrances to multifaceted creative activity may lie in premature specialization, i.e., having to choose the direction of education or to focus on developing one ability too early in life. However, development of creative ability in one domain may enhance effectiveness in other domains that require similar skills, and flexible switching between generality and specificity is helpful to productivity in many domains. Excessive specificity may result in information from outside the domain being underestimated and unavailable, which leads to fixedness of thinking, whereas excessive generality causes chaos, vagueness, and shallowness. Both tendencies pose a threat to the transfer of knowledge and skills between domains. What should therefore be optimal for the development of cross-domain creativity is support for young people in taking up creative challenges in a specific domain and coupling it with encouragement to apply knowledge and skills in, as well as from, other domains, disciplines, and tasks. 22. When it comes to the internet, it just pays to be a little paranoid, but not a lot. Given the level of anonymity with all that resides on the internet, it's sensible to question the validity of any data that you may receive. Typically, it's to our natural instinct when we meet someone coming down a sidewalk to place yourself in some manner of protective position, especially when they introduce themselves as having known you, much to your surprise. By design, we set up challenges in which the individual must validate how they know us by presenting scenarios, names or acquaintances, or evidence by which to validate, that is, photographs. Once we have received that information and it has gone through a cognitive validation, we accept that person as more trustworthy. All this happens in a matter of minutes but is a natural defense mechanism that we perform in the real world. However, in the virtual world, we have a tendency to be less defensive, as there appears to be no physical threat to our well-being. (23) There are pressures within the museum that cause it to emphasize what happens in the galleries over the activities that take place in its unseen zones. In an era when museums are forced to increase their earnings, they often focus their energies on modernizing their galleries or mounting temporary exhibitions to bring more and more audiences through the door. In other words, as museums struggle to survive in a competitive economy, their budgets often prioritize those parts of themselves that are consumable: infotainment in the galleries, goods and services in the cafes and the shops. The unlit, unglamorous storerooms, if they are ever discussed, are at best presented as service areas that process objects for the exhibition halls. And at worst, as museums pour more and more resources into their publicly visible faces, the spaces of storage may even suffer, their modernization being kept on hold or being given less and less space to house the expanding collections and serve their complex conservation needs. 1. Importance of prioritizing museums' exhibition spaces. 2. Benefits of diverse activities in museums for audiences. 3. Necessity of expanding storerooms for displaying objects. 4. Consequences of profit-oriented management of museums. 5. Ways to increase museums' commitment to the public good. (24) Hypermobility. The notion that more travel at faster speeds covering longer distances generates greater economic success seems to be a distinguishing feature of urban areas, where more than half of the world's population currently reside. By 2005, approximately 7.5 billion trips were made each day in cities worldwide. In 2050, there may be 3 to 4 times as many passenger kilometers traveled as in the year 2000, infrastructure and energy prices permitting. Freight movement could also rise more than threefold during the same period. Mobility flows have become a key dynamic of urbanization, with the associated infrastructure invariably constituting the backbone of urban form. Yet, despite the increasing level of urban mobility worldwide, access to places, activities and services has become increasingly difficult. Not only is it less convenient in terms of time, cost and comfort to access locations in cities, but the very process of moving around in cities generates a number of negative externalities. Accordingly, many of the world's cities face an unprecedented accessibility crisis, and are characterized by unsustainable mobility systems. 1. Is hypermobility always good for cities? 2. Accessibility, a guide to a web of urban areas. 3. A long and winding road to economic success. 4. Inevitable regional conflicts from hypermobility. 5. Infrastructure, an essential element of hypermobility. 41 to 42, many negotiators assume that all negotiations involve a fixed pie. Negotiators often approach integrative negotiation opportunities as zero-sum situations or win-lose exchanges. Those who believe in the mythical fixed pie assume that parties' interests stand in opposition, with no possibility for integrative settlements and mutually beneficial trade-offs, so they suppress efforts to search for them. In a hiring negotiation, a job applicant who assumes that salary is the only issue may insist on $75,000 when the employer is offering $70,000. Only when the two parties discuss the possibilities further do they discover that moving expenses and starting date can also be negotiated, which may block resolution of the salary issue. The tendency to see negotiation in fixed pie terms varies depending on how people view the nature of a given conflict situation. This was shown in a clever experiment by Harenk, de Drew, and Van Vienen involving a simulated negotiation between prosecutors and defense lawyers over jail sentences. Some participants were told to view their goals in terms of personal gain, others were told to view their goals in terms of effectiveness, and still others were told to focus on values. Negotiators focusing on personal gain were most likely to come under the influence of fixed pie beliefs and approach the situation competitively. Negotiators focusing on values were least likely to see the problem in fixed pie terms and more inclined to approach the situation cooperatively. Stressful conditions such as time constraints contribute to this common misperception, which in turn may lead to less integrative agreements. 1. Fixed pie, a key to success in a zero-sum game. 2. Fixed pie tells you how to get the biggest salary. 3. Negotiators, wake up from the myth of the fixed pie. 4. Want a fairer jail sentence? Stick to the fixed pie. 5. What alternatives maximize fixed pie effects? (43 through 45). Part A. When invited by her mother to go shopping after lunch, Ellen hesitantly replied, "Sorry, Mom. I have an English essay assignment I need to finish." Her mother persisted, "Come on. Your father's birthday is just around the corner, and you wanted to buy his birthday present by yourself." Ellen suddenly realized that her father's birthday was just 2 days away. So she altered her original plan to do the assignment in the library and decided to go to the shopping mall with her mother. Part B. Part B. Ellen wanted to get a strawberry smoothie in the cafe, but it was sold out. So she bought a yogurt smoothie instead. The cafe was not very busy for a Saturday afternoon, and Ellen settled at a large table to work on her assignment. However, after a while, a group of students came in, and there weren't any large tables left. One of them came over to Ellen's table and politely asked, "Could you possibly move to that smaller table?" Ellen replied, "It's okay. I was just leaving anyway." She hurriedly gathered her assignment, leaving the shoe bag behind under the table. Part C. Upon arrival at the shopping center, her mother inquired, "Ellen, have you decided what to buy for his birthday present?" She quickly replied, "I would like to buy him a pair of soccer shoes." Ellen knew that her father had joined the morning soccer club recently and needed some new soccer shoes. She entered a shoe store and selected a pair of red soccer shoes. After buying the present, she told her mother, "Mom, now, I'm going to do my assignment in the cafe while you are shopping." Part D. "It must be in the cafe," Ellen suddenly exclaimed when she realized the gift for her father was missing upon returning home. She felt so disheartened, worrying it would be impossible to find it. "Why don't you call the cafe?" suggested her mother. When she phoned the cafe and asked about the shoe bag, the manager said that she would check and let her know. After a few minutes, she called back and told Ellen that she had just discovered it. Ellen was so pleased that the birthday gift had been found. 21. Lawyers sometimes describe ownership as a bundle of sticks. This metaphor was introduced about a century ago, and it has dramatically transformed the teaching and practice of law. The metaphor is useful because it helps us see ownership as a grouping of interpersonal rights that can be separated and put back together. When you say it's mine in reference to a resource, often that means you own a lot of the sticks that make up the full bundle: the sell stick, the rent stick, the right to mortgage, license, give away, even destroy the thing. Often, though, we split the sticks up. As for a piece of land, there may be a landowner, a bank with a mortgage, a tenant with a lease, a plumber with a license to enter the land, an oil company with mineral rights. Each of these parties owns a stick in the bundle. 1. A legal obligation to develop the resource. 2. A priority to legally claim the real estate. 3. A right to use one aspect of the property. 4. A building to be shared equally by tenants. 5. A piece of land nobody can claim as their own. Here. 29. Consider The Wizard of Oz as a psychological study of motivation. Dorothy and her 3 friends work hard to get to the Emerald City, overcoming barriers, persisting against all adversaries. They do so because they expect the wizard to give them what they are missing. Instead, the wonderful and wise wizard makes them aware that they, not he, always had the power to fulfill their wishes. For Dorothy, home is not a place but a feeling of security, of comfort with people she loves. It is wherever her heart is. The courage the lion wants, the intelligence the scarecrow longs for, and the emotions the Tin Man dreams of being attributes they already possess. They need to think about these attributes not as internal conditions but as positive ways in which they are already relating to others. After all, didn't they demonstrate those qualities on the journey to Oz, a journey motivated by little more than an 30. To the extent that an agent relies on the prior knowledge of its designer rather than on its own percepts, we say that the agent lacks autonomy. A rational agent should be autonomous. It should learn what it can to compensate/prepare for partial or incorrect prior knowledge. For example, a vacuum cleaning agent that learns to foresee where and when additional dirt will appear will do better than one that does not. As a practical matter, one seldom requires complete autonomy from the start. When the agent has had little or no experience, it would have to act purposefully/randomly unless the designer gave some assistance. So, just as evolution provides animals with enough built-in reflexes to survive long enough to learn for themselves, it would be reasonable to provide an artificial intelligent agent with some initial knowledge as well as an ability to learn. After sufficient experience of its environment, the behavior of a rational agent can become effectively independent/protective of its prior knowledge. Hence, the incorporation of learning allows one to design a single rational agent that will succeed in a vast variety of environments. 1. Compensate. Randomly. Protective. 2. Compensate. Purposefully. Protective. 3. Prepare. Randomly. Protective. 4. Compensate. Randomly. Independent. 5. Prepare. Purposefully. Independent. 35. Interestingly, experts do not suffer as much as beginners when performing complex tasks or combining multiple tasks. Because experts have extensive practice within a limited domain, the key component skills in their domain tend to be highly practiced and more automated. Each of these highly practiced skills then demands relatively few cognitive resources, effectively lowering the total cognitive load that experts experience. Thus, experts can perform complex tasks and combine multiple tasks relatively easily. Furthermore, beginners are excellent at processing the tasks when the tasks are divided and isolated. This is not because they necessarily have more cognitive resources than beginners, rather, because of the high level of fluency they have achieved in performing key skills, they can do more with what they have. Beginners, on the other hand, have not achieved the same degree of fluency and automaticity in each of the component skills, and thus they struggle to combine skills that experts combine with relative ease and efficiency. (40) The evolutionary process works on the genetic variation that is available. It follows that natural selection is unlikely to lead to the evolution of perfect, maximally fit individuals. Rather, organisms come to match their environments by being the fittest available or the fittest yet, they are not the best imaginable. Part of the lack of fit arises because the present properties of an organism have not all originated in an environment similar in every respect to the one in which it now lives. Over the course of its evolutionary history, an organism's remote ancestors may have evolved a set of characteristics or evolutionary baggage that subsequently constrain future evolution. For many millions of years, the evolution of vertebrates has been limited to what can be achieved by organisms with a vertebral column. Moreover, much of what we now see as precise matches between an organism and its environment may equally be seen as constraints. Koala bears live successfully on eucalyptus foliage, but, from another perspective, koala bears cannot live without eucalyptus foliage. The survival characteristics that an organism currently carries may act as B to its adaptability when the organism finds itself coping with changes that arise in its 1. Improvement. Diet. 2. Obstacle. Surroundings. 3. Advantage. Genes. 4. Regulator. Mechanisms. 5. Guide. Traits. (36) The growing complexity of computer software has direct implications for our global safety and security, particularly as the physical objects upon which we depend, things like cars, airplanes, bridges, tunnels, and implantable medical devices, transform themselves into computer code. Physical things are increasingly becoming information technologies. Cars are computers we ride in, and airplanes are nothing more than flying Solaris boxes attached to bucketfuls of industrial control systems. As all this code grows in size and complexity, so too do the number of errors and software bugs. According to a study by Carnegie Mellon University, commercial software typically has 20 to 30 bugs for every 1,000 lines of code. 50 million lines of code means 1 million to 1.5 million potential errors to be exploited. This is the basis for all malware attacks that take advantage of these computer bugs to get the code to do something it was not originally intended to do. As computer code grows more elaborate, software bugs flourish and security suffers, with increasing consequences for society at large. 37. Darwin saw blushing as uniquely human, representing an involuntary physical reaction caused by embarrassment and self-consciousness in a social environment. However, while we sometimes want to disappear when we involuntarily go bright red, psychologists argue that blushing actually serves a positive social purpose. When we blush, it's a signal to others that we recognize that a social norm has been broken. It is an apology for a faux pas. If we feel awkward, embarrassed, or ashamed when we are alone, we don't blush. It seems to be caused by our concern about what others are thinking of us. Studies have confirmed that simply being told you are blushing brings it on. We feel as though others can see through our skin and into our mind. Maybe our brief loss of face benefits the long-term cohesion of the group. Interestingly, if someone blushes after making a social mistake, they are viewed in a more favorable light than those who don't blush. Instead, much like the young child learning how to play nicely, the apprentice scientist gains his or her understanding of the moral values inherent in the role by absorption from their colleagues or socialization. As particular practices are repeated over time and become more widely shared, the values that they embody are reinforced and reproduced, and we speak of them as becoming institutionalized. In some cases, this institutionalization has a formal face to it, with rules and protocols written down, and specialized roles created to ensure that procedures are followed correctly. The main institutions of state are parliament, courts, police, and so on, along with certain of the professions, exhibit this formal character. Other social institutions, perhaps the majority, are not like this. Science is an example. Although scientists are trained in the substantive content of their discipline, they are not formally instructed in how to be a good scientist. We think that these values, along with the values that inform many of the professions, are under threat, just as the value of the professions themselves is under threat. As a result, they are fit and grow better, but they aren't particularly long-lived. When trees grow together, nutrients and water can be optimally divided among them all so that each tree can grow into the best tree it can be. If you help individual trees by getting rid of their supposed competition, the remaining trees are bereft. They send messages out to their neighbors unsuccessfully, because nothing remains but stumps. Every tree now grows on its own, giving rise to great differences in productivity. Some individuals photosynthesize like mad until sugar positively bubbles along their trunk. And there are now a lot of losers in the forest. Weaker members, who would once have been supported by the stronger ones, suddenly fall behind. Whether the reason for their decline is their location and lack of nutrients, a passing sickness, or genetic makeup, they now fall prey to insects and fungi. This is because a tree can be only as strong as the forest that surrounds it. 31. People have always needed to eat, and they always will. Rising emphasis on self-expression values does not put an end to material desires. But prevailing economic orientations are gradually being reshaped. People who work in the knowledge sector continue to seek high salaries, but they place equal or greater emphasis on doing stimulating work and being able to follow their own time schedules. Consumption is becoming progressively less determined by the need for sustenance and the practical use of the goods consumed. People still eat, but a growing component of food's value is determined by its aspects. People pay a premium to eat exotic cuisines that provide an interesting experience or that symbolize a distinctive lifestyle. The publics of post-industrial societies place growing emphasis on political consumerism, such as boycotting goods whose production violates ecological or ethical standards. Consumption is less and less a matter of sustenance and more a question of lifestyle and choice. 1. Quantitative, 2. Non-material, 3. Nutritional, 4. Invariable, 5. Economic. (32) In labor-sharing groups, people contribute labor to other people on a regular basis, for seasonal agricultural work such as harvesting, or on an irregular basis, in the event of a crisis such as the need to rebuild a barn damaged by fire. Labor-sharing groups are part of what has been called a moral economy, since no one keeps formal records on how much any family puts in or takes out. Instead, accounting is. The group has a sense of moral community based on years of trust and sharing. In a certain community of North America, labor sharing is a major economic factor of social cohesion. When a family needs a new barn or faces repair work that requires group labor, a barn raising party is called. Many families show up to help. Adult men provide manual labor, and adult women provide food for the event. Later, when another family needs help, they call on the same people. 1. Legally established, 2. Regularly reported, 3. Socially regulated, 4. Manually calculated, 5. Carefully documented. (33) Whatever their differences, scientists and artists begin with the same question: can you and I see the same thing the same way? If so, how? The scientific thinker looks for features of the thing that can be stripped of subjectivity or ideally, those aspects that can be quantified and whose values will thus never change from one observer to the next. In this way, he arrives at a reality independent of all observers. The artist, on the other hand, relies on the strength of her artistry to effect a marriage between her own subjectivity and that of her readers. To a scientific thinker, this must sound like magical thinking. You're saying you will imagine something so hard it'll pop into someone else's head exactly the way you envision it? The artist has sought the opposite of the scientist's observer-independent reality. She creates a reality dependent upon observers, indeed a reality in which in order for it to exist at all. 1. Human beings must participate. 2. Objectivity should be maintained. 3. Science and art need to harmonize. 4. Readers remain distanced from the arts. 5. She is disengaged from her own subjectivity.
제3교시 종료 10분 전입니다.
One of the common themes of the Western philosophical tradition is the distinction between sensual perceptions and rational knowledge. Since Plato, the supremacy of rational reason is based on the assertion that it is able to extract true knowledge from experience. As the discussion in the Republic helps to explain, perceptions are inherently unreliable and misleading because the senses are subject to errors and illusions. Only the rational discourse has the tools to overcome illusions and to point towards true knowledge. For instance, perception suggests that a figure in the distance is smaller than it really is. Yet, the application of logical reasoning will reveal that the figure only appears small because it obeys the laws of geometrical perspective. Nevertheless, even after the perspectival correction is applied and reason concludes that perception is misleading, the figure still appears small, and the truth of the matter is revealed. 1. As the outcome of blindly following sensual experience. 2. By moving away from the idea of perfect representation. 3. Beyond the limit of where rational knowledge can approach. 4. Through a variety of experiences rather than logical reasoning. 5. Not in the perception of the figure but in its rational representation.
제3교시 종료령입니다. 수험생은 필기도구를 놓고 답안지는 뒤집어서 오른쪽에, 문제지는 표지를 덮어서 왼쪽에 각각 놓고 조용히 기다리십시오. 제2감독관께서는 문제지와 답안지를 수험 번호 순으로 회수하여 주시고 수량을 확인하여 주십시오.